They say podcasts are going to replace books. I don't know about that, but I do think TRS clips will assist your learning process. What is life within a submarine like?
Submarine, I'm not a submariner, but I've sailed on board submarine being a marine commando. We use that underwater platform also to come out of submarine and do this kind of operations for which we are trained. A submarine is a very compact and complicated structure. You can't walk straight for long. You have to go through the hatches, which are actually vertical hatches, and you have to crawl through the hatches, go to the other compartments. Luxury is almost denied to you, in the sense that this studio, perhaps half of the studio would be the biggest compartment in a submarine where human beings can stay. Then you got the battery compartments. You are actually working in a very congested atmosphere. Number two is that you don't get fresh air. Number three, you're denied sunlight because you're underwater. And when a submarine sails, it's actually after some time it dives underwater and stays underwater. A nuclear submarine can stay underwater for ages, but normally they stay for 2-3 months. A conventional submarine, which are battery, diesel electric submarines, because the batteries will run out and they have to be charged continuously. So then every 24 hours, the submarine has to actually not come to the surface, but comes to the periscopic depth. That is, so that it can raise a periscope and other masts and all, exhaust and all, so that they can run the diesel. And then diesel actually acts like a dynamo and charges the battery. So that's the way. But it doesn't mean the submarine comes on surface. It's still underwater. As far as people are concerned, it's the same environment. And then...
but what does it do to the mind?
It's not easy. That's why it's on voluntary basis. Like Marine Commandos and clearance diver in the Navy, even submarine specialization, aviation specialization is all on volunteer basis. Because they are specific. And there are people who really cannot, if you are claustrophobic, obviously you cannot join the submarines because you cannot stay. If you are not mentally that strong, and if you don't have high risk-taking ability. Now, I am not saying that it doesn't happen in the other people working on warships. There is high risk in the entire armed forces. There are intelligent people. There are people who are mentally very strong, also manning the warships. Most of them become admirals also. But I'm just saying that relatively, a submariner is one of the toughest guys mentally, because the environment in which is working. And the best part of a submarine life is that there is no distinction between officers and sailors. The commanding officer won't even wear his stripes. He won't even wear his name tally. They wear disposable shorts, which are basically khaki or an OG color t-shirt and a short, and they use it for 3 days because they can't take bath. Maybe 1 or 2 mugs of water per day is your allocation. Wow. And that's about it. And you don't shave, you grow beard and all. If you're going for a war patrol or something, you are sailing for 40-45 days. And out of which, of course, you don't come up to surface. The submarine comes to the periscope depth just to charge the batteries, and that's about it.
Are there situations where people I don't like bringing this up, but are there situations where people kind of get very uncomfortable?
Actually, it is sorted out because before you get initiated into a submarine, there is an elaborate training program which happens in Visakhapatnam. They are put through the paces, and each and every aspect of a submarine life is exposed. They get exposed. Thereafter, they also sail for a while. I mean, if you can sail and sustain for 1-2 days in a submarine, you can sustain.
Okay.
So and of course, they are paid extra. That is also a motivating factor. But I have sailed on board submarines many times because for doing Marine Commando operation. But I would rather, not sail for a long time, because I also used to find that it's quite a close environment.
It's a slightly dark question, but I'm just asking you out of curiosity. I once read that, if by chance your submarine is taken down by a torpedo, that's supposed to be one of the worst possible ways of leaving the earth. But what's the logic of that? Why do they say that?
That's because, you're underwater. Now, actually, suppose, just give you some statistics. You are on surface, the atmosphere pressure is 1 atmosphere. You go to 10 meters, it becomes 2 atmosphere. That means the pressure which you have on surface is twice there. You go to, let's say, normally submarine, when it dives, is actually settled in a depth of between 50 to 150 meters underwater. Tremendous amount of pressure.
Light?
There's a lot of, all around is a pressure, na?
No, I mean, does light go that deep? Roshni?
No, it doesn't go that deep.
So it's
all dark, deep dark world. And of course, you got sonars. Submarine uses sonars for navigation and inertial navigation system, so that it can actually do reference and movement underwater. They've also got charts. They plot their entire thing because they have to. Accuracy of navigation is very important, and it is assured by inertial navigation system and also by other means of navigation which happens underwater. But now you're surrounded all around by water medium, and that water medium is now at 15 atmosphere. At 10 meters, oxygen which you breathe, which is 100 less. As a diver, I used to breathe 100% oxygen for doing combat diving, or when I told you about chariot. Now, the moment you come to 10 meters, that oxygen turns toxic. And a person can breathe and die within seconds. So, for all divers, cleansed divers like me, and the people who are still serving, and for marine commandos, they do a compulsory oxygen tolerance test to 24 meters. Not 10, not 20, 24 meters. And there are people who start having convulsions, they are removed.
And that's genetic.
That's genetic.
So you're either built for it or you're not.
They say 0.00001%, or maybe I would have been wrong with 1 or 2 zeros here, of people in the world can sustain oxygen, 100% oxygen at that. Even the medical oxygen is not 100%. It's about 95-96%.
Ethnically, you're a Pahadi. Do you think that has had any role to play genetically?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Genetics, I mean, when you say you're a Pahadi, it could be a lot of mixture of genes from so many places. So not everybody in my village is as fair I am.
Okay.
So maybe it could be a mix somewhere.
Okay.
So now I'm just giving examples. So now you can breathe air. Air has got 21% oxygen. Rest all nitrogen and other gases. That 21% is sufficient for you to survive on the earth. Actually, if any medium of air which has got 3.5 to 4% of oxygen, rest all you can have any other gas, you can survive. But the body requires only 3.5% of oxygen. Now this 21% of oxygen, as you go down because of the partial pressure, I mean I don't want to talk chemistry here. As you go down, the partial pressure increases. And the oxygen actually at a certain depth becomes that much, 2-3% or 3.5%. So that's why you have to ensure that you can't have any medium where the oxygen becomes less than 3.5%. The other aspect is there is something called as, you must have heard of Bent's diseases. You breathe oxygen, you breathe air, and you go down, the nitrogen gets dissolved in the body. And then as you come up, when the volume of the pressure reduces, the volume increases. These small bubbles can become bigger. They can go to central nervous system. They can actually do a lot of damage in your body.
Have you seen that ever?
I have seen that. We have cases where people do get affected by, this is called decompression sickness, but we've got method by which you can treat a person. We've got recompression chambers where we put the people, take them to the chamber bottom, and thereafter give them, there are dive tables, also therapeutic dive tables, that you take a person to this depth and then keep him for 10 minutes, then get into a shallow depth, keep him for 5 minutes, somewhere 18 minutes like that, and you get him back to surface. Now, why I'm telling you all those things? Because a minor crack in the submarine means the pressure inside has become equal to the pressure outside. And imagine from 1 atmosphere pressure, if a person is subjected to 15 atmosphere pressure, he's dead. So there is no way you can survive. And secondly, if the submarine is damaged extensively and the pressure hull is broken, then it is a combination of what I'm telling you and also the water ingress. The way the water will gush in, it'll just smash you and nothing will be left. So that's why it's a watery grave as such.
Is it a quick demise or it's a gory question?
Well, I can't answer this because
I didn't mean to offend anyone.
There's been no survivor like that, so we can question and find out whether. But anyway, any death is a death. But yes, if you imagine it's something like a passenger aircraft exploding in the air at 30,000 feet. What would be the feeling? I mean, we can only estimate it. You can guess it. You cannot, or you can imagine it. But the pain is very palpable. Or will they have pain? I don't know, because an explosion in air, I don't think people will take, it'll take a couple of seconds for people to...
That's what my actual question was.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this clip. If you want to learn more about this topic, we've curated a playlist just for you. And here's a link to the whole episode.